Hello, good evening, brothers. How you guys doing? Give me just 1 second. Throw the chat up. Cool. I'm sorry I'm a bit later tonight. I've had a very, very busy day, so couldn't be helped. If you are going to be doing some hobbying tonight, let me know what it is. I'm still working on my Terminators here. These never-ending Terminators, it feels like. Good evening, Oddsaw, Jeff, Michael, Rezio, Sanguinius, good evening. How you guys all doing? Hope you're all well. Try and put the chat somewhere. The chat is ready to display messages. It is indeed ready to display messages. Whether or not it will display the messages to me is another question, because sometimes it doesn't like doing that. Good evening, Joe. How you doing? Reziel's working at AdMech tonight. Oh. I mean, AdMech aren't so bad right now, I guess. I haven't quite worked out where I'm starting tonight. I'll just muck on this feet. Cool. I know I have to do second coats of all this Mechanicus Grey and all these areas here, but I think we're going to get to that later. I think I'm going to start with some Lead Belcher. Michael's painting Astrath tonight. Nice. Have you actually run Astrath recently? I have not run him in a long time. Some people are swearing by him now. But I don't know. I guess the problem I have with Blood Angels right now is, like, it feels like there's a lot of grasping at straws. Like, I was looking at, like, there's a tournament in Scotland running, like, today and tomorrow, and I was looking, like, at the top 10, and it was like Tyranids. I think it was like 3 Custodes, 3 Custodes, 3 Tau or something like that, then like Tyranids, Drukhari, Gene Stealer cults. You know, like, Marines aren't even getting top 10 after day 1 at the moment, so tough time to be playing Marines, I feel like. Rizio just got a new webcam. Nice, congrats. I want to get a new microphone. That's one of the things that's on my list for getting next, I guess. I don't hate my microphone, but I want to get better. Hi there, just finished my first squad of assault intercessors for my first army. Now starting with some Death Company Marines. Nice. Congrats on finishing your first squad. It's always a nice feeling, isn't it? Let me fire some music on. This... Nope. This one. Yeah, I've been looking at Death Company Marines a little bit in recent weeks. I haven't quite decided if we're going to make a big switch towards Death Company or if we're going to continue to run Sanguinary Guard. The thing I think that's going to keep me away from Death Company is that they're CP heavy, and I feel like my list doesn't have any, like, barely any CP to play with. I've returned from retrieving of the sandwich. Congrats, Spiderwing. Did you say that you were going to get a sandwich? I must have missed that. I thought Games Workshop loved us. How could they forsake us? We're not lamenters. You know, apparently last time they did a survey of, like, all the 40k armies. Blood Angels were actually the most played army. We'd actually eclipsed Ultramarines, because typically, like, Ultramarines, you know, because they're on all the promotional material and everything like that, they are, like, one of the most played armies. But in one of the surveys they ran, probably a year ago now or so, Blood Angels were actually the most played army, because I actually started this channel before I looked at that survey. Like, it would have made sense to look at that survey first and been like, oh, Blood Angels are popular, I should make a channel on Blood Angels. But no, I was just making a channel on Blood Angels because that's what I played. But if I'd been strategic and wanted to get, like, subscribers and stuff, I guess I could have looked at that. But yeah, we were one of the most popular armies, so it feels mad that we're definitely one of the weakest at the moment. Marius coming in with 449 UK pounds. Greetings, Blood Angels. Working my 30k Rebooty model and was wondering if you have tackled Sanguinius. Do you know what? I haven't tackled Sanguinius. A lot of people in the Discord and the chat, I guess, probably have done Sanguinius. Like, I believe there's even some of them entered in the painting competition that I've got running on the channel right now. I'd be very surprised actually if we didn't get a single Sanguinius submission. He's kind of always been on my wish list, but I guess here's the thing, I like play for competitive, right? Like I play to win, I play to make tournament lists. So if I'm ever going to buy something for Forge World, it's going to be a couple $100 like Sanguinius probably costs. I think he's 84 in the UK last time I checked. If I'm ever going to spend like $100 in Forge World, I'm going to buy something that I can actually field and be competitive with. So anytime in a situation where I have $100 to spend on Forge World, I'm probably going to spend it on something that I can run in an army. So don't get me wrong, I would like the Sanguinius model, but at the same time I have a very big backlog of Blood Angels. I always talk about how big my backlog is, and I'm a slow painter. I mean, maybe saying I'm a slow painter is the wrong thing to say. I don't get a lot of time to paint. I get 2 kids, and obviously I make YouTube videos which take up. So I work a full-time job, then I make YouTube videos, and then I get 2 kids. So it's maybe not as much as me being a slow painter as much as like I just don't have a lot of time to paint. Painting on stream is kind of the most time of the week that I spend painting. I would like to paint more. I enjoy the painting. If I'm ever off work, like for holidays and stuff, I always end up painting a lot when I'm off work and on vacation and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I don't get enough time in the week to paint. So I can buy models quicker than I can paint models, I guess. But no, I've never tackled Sanguinius. Maybe one day, you know, once I've got just about everything else possible under the sun painted, we'll do a Sanguinius. If I was gonna do him, I'd probably make a YouTube video about him, making and or painting him. I said I'd get a sandwich in the stream 2 weeks ago and I never returned until now. Fair enough, Spiderwing. That must be the best sandwich that's ever been created if it took you 2 weeks to make it. Relic blades are better than power fists on the charge for us. Should I use use chaos chain axes for my assault intercessors? Should I use non-chaos chain axes for my assault intercessors? I mean, assault intercessors can't take chain axes. I think the sergeant can take like a power fist, a thunder hammer, or a power sword, right? I don't think there's any options to take chain axes. I mean, Death Company can take power axes, so you could use like non-chaos chain axes as potential proxies for like power axes for the Death Company, but I know some people run power axes on the Death Company. I actually don't know if I'm not on board with power axes. I don't think it's a great use of points. I mean, I think they're not bad, I just don't think they're great. Sanguinius finally picked up the Sanguinius model today. Yeah, you were at Warhammer World today, right? For the 25th anniversary today, right? Sanguinius, how was it? Did you enjoy yourself? I checked the Facebook group a couple of times today. I was disappointed I didn't see a photo of the two of you like at the Rhino at Warhammer World. Is that not like the rite of passage? You have to take a photo outside with the Rhino, or did you take that photo and I just missed it? Good evening, Robert. How you doing? There's no... Well, the reason just to buff Blood Angels is to make the game balanced. It's not about... The rules shouldn't really ever be about selling models, Reziel. I understand that they are, but in my opinion, they shouldn't be, right? Like, the rules should be about creating a balanced, healthy game that everybody feels like they have a chance of winning in, as opposed to selling models. I feel like that would be better for the business than, because it would probably create like goodwill in the community, but I guess part of it is, you know, rules are created to sell models, or at least to sell the new models from time to time. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm fine with Games Workshop releasing new models. I'm totally fine with them expanding the Space Marine range. It's their game. Expand the range as often as you want. I would just like a chance to win some of these games. Like, the game I played against Tau this week was just obnoxious. Like, I don't know if we have a hope in hell of beating Tau at the moment. Like, the right list, or maybe the right list is the wrong words, a tough list of Tau is almost impossible for us to beat. Of course, the new webcam uses USB-C and my computer has none of those USB-C ports. You know, you get USB to USB-C adapters on Amazon for about $5 for 3 of them, Reziel, because new iPhones don't come with USB cables anymore. They come with USB-C. So I bought my wife a new iPhone, and turns out like we didn't have any cable. And because Apple have tried to do this, like save the, well, less waste and stuff, the new iPhones don't come with charging plugs anymore. So like my wife's new iPhone, we literally couldn't charge it, and we'd ordered it online, so of course you know, we hadn't been to the shop and stuff because of COVID, so we got her a brand new iPhone and we couldn't charge it. So I mean, it was good for a day or two, and then it was like, right, that's it, out of charge. So yeah, you can get USB-C to regular USB adapters pretty cheap, and get them on Amazon Prime or something like that. Bodyguard shenanigans will help with the Tau a lot. I don't know if they will, because they get so much indirect fire. FFS name taken says, can you take over Games Workshop? Yeah, I guess not. I mean, I unfortunately don't have 200 million sitting in a bank account to just buy them. Actually, I have no idea how much Games Workshop. It's like they make like 100 million profit a year, so they're probably worth a lot more than 200 million actually. But no, I'm just a very competitive player, and I guess I get frustrated at some of the decisions that they make. I mean, we've been dealing with it now for like 18 months. Good evening, Toasty Devil. It feels like, you know, 18 months is a long time to be playing with an underpowered codex. It's maybe not quite 18 months, because it was like, what was it, like December 2020? So like 15, 16, 17 months now, I guess. 16 months, I think. So 16 months with a underpowered codex, in my opinion, is a long time. And at some point, you know, the thing that makes me sad is, like, I see a lot of people, like, they're not leaving the hobby, but they're leaving Blood Angels. You know, like, just players are no longer playing us because they realize that we're not at the top of the stack, I guess, competitive wise, and that's the thing that annoys me more than anything. It's like, I don't want to have to change army, but like, I think last year we saw a few Blood Angels players win tournaments. I think this year we're going to see half as many win tournaments as we did last year, just because as all the new stuff comes out, we're just going to fall further and further down the heap, or the pile, or the pecking order, whatever you want to call it. So I think if last year we saw like 5 Blood Angels players win tournaments, and I think it was about 5, it wasn't a high amount. I think this year if we see 2 or 3, we'll be lucky. Like, It's a $1 billion company, says Podger. Commander, could you pick your brain for a moment? Was watching a match you played against Chaos Knights. You managed to charge 2 units with 1 squad. Could you explain how that works? Yeah, I mean, you have to pick the furthest away squad. So if one squad is 6 inches away and the other one's 8 inches away, you declare a charge against both, and then you just roll. If you fail the roll against the furthest away squad, you end up charging neither. So positioning is really important, odds odd. Like, you need to, if you're going to charge 2 units, you need to be confident you're going to get into 2, because if you end up rolling and you can only reach one of them, then it's a failed charge and you don't get to move at all. So yeah, you can charge. You could charge 8 units if you wanted. The only stipulation is you have to be able to end with an engagement range of each of the squads or each of the units you charge against, right? Stormark, greetings, brothers. Can either the commander or one of you tell me how to submit a list for the list review show? Yeah, it's easy, Mark. You just head over to the community tab of the Blood Angels Commander page on YouTube. So just search. I mean, you're here already. So just scroll down below this video, click on the like actual picture that says like channel or Blood Angels Commander, I think it would say. And then that'll take you to the actual channel page. Head over to the community tab. Like, there's a tab at the top of the screen that says community. And in the latest community post, because I put up community posts every couple of weeks, you just post your list in the description or in the comment section to one of the community posts. Or do it in the newest community post rather. Sorry, not one of them. Do it in the newest one, and I'll find it from there. A little disclaimer at the moment, there's been a shitload of submissions because of chapter approved coming out recently, so the queue time for the reviews is quite long. It's I think last time I checked it was about a month for actual channel members, so people that are like supporting the channel via Patreon or by being a channel member, it's like a month. If you're not a channel member, you're looking at like 3 months at this point. It'll calm down. Usually, it used to be that members were like on a 1 or 2 week, and then non-members were on like, I would say like 6 weeks or something. But yeah, I mean, it's just with the new release of chapter approved, or the chapter approved being quite, I get more lists than I can review at the moment. Harlequins are insane right now. Yeah, the new Eldari codex is going to be interesting, that's for sure as well. I saw someone picked up Domino Zephon on Reddit, I think, like on Friday. I think someone's actually completely painted him already. Like, I think there was a post on Reddit of someone who has got him, unboxed him, and painted him already. So some people made him. I think he's a pretty cool proxy for like a captain with a relic blade, right? Yeah, Marines are in. I mean, the rumor is that there's going to be a new, like, Space Marine 2.0 codex, or like some sort of new Marine release in the later part of this year. There's a rumor that there's going to be some sort of melee Redemptor Dreadnought. So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, right now, Marines, I guess they're hurting, right? Blood Angels are definitely not the worst Marine chapter. What Marine chapters are worse than us at the moment? I mean, Ultramarines aren't in a great position either. I played Ultramarines on the channel a few weeks back, and I feel like I beat them reasonably convincingly, but I play Collins Ultramarines every 6 months or so, I guess, and I don't have that many problems with Ultramarines. I usually find I can get the win against Ultramarines. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, no, it's certainly good to be busy. I remember right back in the day when I started, I was doing the army list show to almost, like, it was almost, there was a week there where I was like joking around with like my wife saying like, I actually don't know if anyone's going to bother submitting a list this week. You know, like, so like basically like on my show on Sunday, I would have like no list to review because my channel was so small and no one cared what I said. So it's certainly nice to be in a situation where we get, you know, where we have plenty of submissions to look through. I would like to not be as far behind, but I'm sure I'll get caught up eventually. But yeah, I've been saying that I've been painting these Terminators now for like, feels like a month or 2 months or something. Like, just got so many little details on them. I've not even done two colors on a bunch of the base coats either. Like, these Terminators are just taking me forever. Oh, they're going to take even longer if I just make horrible mistakes like that, aren't they? Imperial Fists are at the bottom. Yeah, do you know what? Imperial Fists are at the bottom. I believe the win rate for this edition, Blood Angels are pretty close to the bottom, but Imperial Fists are below us. I think you're 100% right there. So it must be a tough time to be Chapter Master Valric, I guess. But yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe this rumored release will change lots of things for Space Marines. I don't know if there's an easy fix to get us competitive again, but you know, a new release or two is definitely going to help. I guess that's the one advantage of being a Space Marine player, is if things aren't going so well for you, at least when Codex Space Marine comes out, it's not like we have to wait another edition for like our Blood Angels Codex. Imagine if Primaris got like more movement and more toughness. Yeah, I do think it might be. I do think that might be one of the things they do, is give Primaris Marines some sort of advantage. I mean, they're trying to, in some ways, they're trying a little bit to like phase out the Firstborn, right? And people are already, like, people have some reservations about Primaris Marines, and they feel sad, I guess, that Primaris Marines are taking up some space that maybe Firstborn Marines would previously have. But it could be one way to try and get more people on board with the Primaris ideas. Like, Primaris Marines just all get some sort of buff. You know, could it be an extra wound? Could it be some more toughness? Could it be like all Primaris Marines get some sort of invulnerable save? I can see them doing something to Primaris Marines to use that as a way to try and balance up the state of Marines currently. So like there might be no changes to like Firstborn. I mean, the codexes and stuff, the releases that we've had this since 9th edition have really not been nice to Firstborn anyway. You know, like if you look at like the points costs on some of the Firstborn, if you look at how poor our Blood Angel specific Firstborn Dreadnoughts are, you know, like they've definitely, I don't know if they've ignored them or they've just sort of passed them up or what. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know anything about the new Space Marine release, but I do think they might try and push the Primaris rhetoric a little bit further, right? Because, I mean, that's kind of like, if you look at Warhammer Plus, when they do battle reports on Warhammer Plus, and they did a Blood Angels battle report on Warhammer Plus, right? And it was all about, like, it was like an entire Primaris Blood Angels force with just, Sangre Guard were the only Firstborn in the list. Nobody would have a problem with Primaris Marines if they're replacing Firstborn like for like. Diction iconic long-standing Firstborn units with no Primaris equivalent is the issue. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been someone who's been against the lack of weapon options that Primaris Marines have. Like, I've generally disliked it, and I mean that's why a lot of people still run the Firstborn, right? Is because weapon options are just better, I guess. Well, weapon options and the fact that a bunch of them can take jump packs, which obviously in a Blood Angels army, jump packs are kind of needed. What would you do if they gave all Firstborn Marine? What would you do if they gave all Primaris Marines just permanent transhuman? You know, like basically like Dark Angels Inner Circle type rules. Because Dark Angels are actually kind of competitive, right? And a big part of, I think, why they're so competitive is their Inner Circle. May I ask something? Is Blood Angels the complete Raffin Omnibus a good book to start with Blood Angels? You know what? I've not actually read Raffin's Omnibus. I have like a bunch of other books. Someone can maybe answer if the Raffin book is good. It's a much older book. Like they recently did like this book that begins with. They recently did this series that begins with Dante. And then has the Devastation of Baal, and then has Darkness and the Blood, and there's a new Astaroth book, I believe, that just came out. Like, I mean, I just got the Astaroth book in the mail this week, and that's that series is written by Guy Hanley, I think is how you say his name, and it's actually really good. So if you want to start with that series, the Dante book is a great jumping off point. You can get all those books on Audible, by the way, as well. So Audible is really cheap for Warhammer books, considering how expensive some of those books are. But yeah, the Raffin books, I've not actually read them. I'm back in the day when I first started playing 40k, I didn't do like any of the lore stuff. I just wanted to play and like compete at tournaments. And you know, like I wanted to do a crusade this edition, but I just haven't found the time. You know, with the two young kids, it's just not. The two young kids and making YouTube videos, I just haven't really found the time to do to even really look at crusade properly. The Blood Angels Omnibus is good. What's the book I've got over here? I thought I had another. Yeah, I've got one here. Yeah, what's this one like? Because honestly, I haven't even opened it. But Guy Hanley, he's the one that did Haley. He's the guy that did. He did the Dante series. But yeah, I mean, I bought this for the next time I'm going traveling or something for work. I'll take this with me and I'll actually get some time to read it. People recommend Dante for Blood Angels beginners. Start with Dante. It goes over how you go from a kid to the street to a full-blown son of Sanguinius, and I guess the oldest living chapter master as well, right, is Dante. Dante, I really enjoyed the Dante book. I've actually been meaning to read it again and do a video on it for the channel as like a jumping off point for people. But yeah, no, the Dante book, I liked it a lot. Plus it introduces you to like a few of the core, I guess, like almost like the core recruitment process, or yeah, I mean, I guess that's what you're saying, like really hope the Blood Angels get the Black Templars treatment. Yeah, I mean, all the Space Marine chapters sort of need the Black Templars treatment, right? And Black Templars got a bunch of really interesting rules and stuff. I think Black Templars seem like a decent army. The Blood Angels Omnibus is quite old, and it's a bunch of janky old continuity. I imagine it was quite old, yeah. Yeah, I imagine the Raffen trilogy must be 20 years old at this point, I guess, right, Reziel? To say, I'm not going to say too many words when I'm painting these eyes. I suck at painting like eyes and faces and stuff like that. Sims of Sanguinius is some heavy reading. It took me a bit to slog through. I would say hold until you read something like Dante. You know, the book that I read recently, and maybe some of you guys have read it, is Solar War, and boy, I found that book a slog. I've got like the next 3 or 4 in the series, but I found Solar. It took me ages to get through Solar War. And I mean, I'm mainly reading that to hopefully get to the point where we get to the Vengeful Spirit and stuff. Good evening, Dirty Wizard. How you doing? Have you tried using shaved down toothpicks for the eyes? I have not used toothpicks for the eyes before, actually. Interesting idea, though. I was trying to get the tiniest little drop of paint on like 1 or 2 bristles though, and see how we get on. Generally though, like, yeah, eyes are the thing that bug me the most. I don't know if my eyesight is good enough to paint eyes as well. Like, I see, like, sometimes when I see people that have painted like really professional painters, I honestly don't know how they do it, because like, yeah, I just don't know, like, either the hand-eye coordination and also the ability to even see that well is crazy to me. I mean, I work with computer screens, so maybe too many years of looking at computer screens has ruined my vision. But I am short-sighted, like I need glasses to see things that are close to me. So, I mean, that... I know they haven't written The Vengeful Spirit yet. It's the next book. It's Sanguinius holding the Emerald Gate. Yeah, so that's why I started Solar War, to get to the point where we see what's happening on the Vengeful Spirit and actually get that story. After I finished Solar War, I just decided to take a break from 40k books for a little while. So I actually went and read like an old Star Wars book that I'd been meaning to read for a while, and I've now started, like, I'm on chapter 10 of like another Star Wars book. Maybe after we finish the Star Wars book, I'll pluck up the courage to read the second book in the Solar War series or whatever it's called. They'll drag the Siege of Terror out 10 more years before we run the Vengeful Spirit. Yeah, do you know what? I don't know if I felt the first book really dragged all that much, but I just found it difficult, I guess, when they're like... like when you're reading a book and like sometimes it could be maybe from the perspective of like chaos or whatnot, and it can be quite, I guess it can potentially be difficult to follow what's happening a little bit when like the chaos stuff is going on, you know, because they're all like warped, and that's kind of how I felt with that first book. I originally thought the Siege of Terra was going to be 7 books. I don't know where I got that from. Did they ever say that, or did I just make that up? The Astaroth book is pretty dope. It tells you some of the difference between the Firstborn and the Primaris. Yeah, do you know what? I just got the Astaroth book, so that's high on my list to read, I guess. But yeah, no, I'm gonna finish the Star Wars book because I'm enjoying it, and then Star Wars are actually relentless. You know, you say Black Library release a lot of books. Star Wars release a friggin' ton of books as well, and Star Wars is like my guilty pleasure. I'm not so keen on like the new stuff that they've released Star Wars wise, but I like the books. But like, I'm not reading any of the books about like the First Order or any of that bullshit. Fuck, the Astaroth book, I knew there was something I forgot when I made my order yesterday. I don't know if you would have still managed to get a copy of it, Spiderwing, because it went on... The Astaroth book went on order, I think it was like 2 Saturdays ago or something, and it was sold out like super quick. I actually logged on to Games Workshop like pretty early in the day, like maybe like 1 or 2, and it was already sold out. I went to Amazon and it said like Amazon had 1 copy in stock, and I just ordered it thinking like, well, maybe they'll have it, and yeah, no, it turned up, so I was pleased. But I really hate, like I was saying to my friend Kev, I mean, some of you guys know Kev, he plays on the channel occasionally. I was saying to Kev, I was like, I kind of hate how Black Library do these limited releases with like only a few thousand copies, and then sometimes it feels like there's only a few thousand copies of the hardbacks as well, and I get that they want to sell them all, but like, could they not do them a bit like made to order, like give people a little bit of time, like, you know, made to order for like, because they're doing that with Cursed City right now, right? If you missed out on Cursed City when it came out like last year, the Warhammer, I think Cursed City is Warhammer Quest. I never followed it too much, but you know, when like there's a 2-week window now where if you order Cursed City, you're guaranteed to get it. And I really kind of feel like they should do that for the books as well, because it really sucks having the time pressure on those. I don't see why there needs to be such a time pressure on the books. If you wanted to buy a copy of Dante today, because I looked the other day, because I picked up the Astaroth book, I was like, I really would like to complete my collection of Blood Angels books. If you want to pick up a copy of Dante, it's going to cost you like it's like £95 on eBay, so that's like $120, $125 if you want a copy of Dante. Oh well, my local Games Workshops are like a 90-minute drive from me, so I guess that doesn't make me feel quite as bad. If your local game store is a 3-hour drive, where the hell do you live, man? I still want to get the Dante, but yeah, exactly. It's in the UK, it's about $100 for a copy of Dante. And then the thing is, when you're buying used, you never really know how good the condition is till you get it. So you just have, if the condition wasn't good or whatnot, you just have to suck it up and deal with it, right? Lost in the Dam is pretty important, though. Toasty Devil introduces a character that is used throughout the series, but I love the Guy Hanley books. Yeah, no, I've bought the next few. Like, I think I have the first 5 of that Siege of Terra series. So I fully plan to get through it. It just that one book annoyed me, I guess. You live in Sweden in the middle. Oh yeah, I'm sure you've told me that. You live in Sweden before. I mean, Scotland's pretty remote at times as well, so... I think I'm going to make a video on Terminators this week, though, because I keep finding in games recently, in the current meta, where like the 2 Moon Marines just fall over and die against just about everything. I've been enjoying playing Terminators. The one unit that keeps they're my one unit at the moment that seem to keep exceeding expectations. And I have a lot more Terminators. Like, I could paint a lot more of them, and maybe I should paint a lot more of them. Let me try and come up with a new list in the next few weeks that I think is reasonably competitive. I'm probably going to have to drop Dreadnoughts, right? That's the one thing that I'm kind of... Custodes and Tau can just melt our Dreadnoughts now, like, really, really easily. And it's a lot of points to lose a Dreadnought, you know, especially when they put up the Redemptors to 195 points. I really don't know why they put them up, considering they're easier than ever to kill, but I guess, you know, they put them up, so we get to deal with it. I didn't like Solar War at all, man. The first wall is far, far worse. Oh dear. Oh, good evening, Kev. I was literally just speaking about you. It's 10 past 11 on Saturday night, though, so what I said 10 minutes ago may have, I have no idea. I mentioned you like 10 minutes ago, Kev. But I have no idea what I said about you. I was gonna say, my day doesn't even feel that stressful with the kids today. They've generally been okay, but I guess late on Saturday night, my brain has decided that it's not going to remember what I said 10 minutes ago. Don't drop Dreadnoughts before you drop Tactical Dreadnoughts. Not many people call it Tactical Dreadnought armor nowadays, do they, Rezio? Not something you hear in conversation very often. I mean, maybe I should start calling them Tactical Dreadnoughts just to wind you up in every stream, like, oh, I'm bringing my guys in Tactical Dreadnought armor. I love them. I do actually want to do a little bit of maths on the Dreadnoughts. Sorry, on the Terminators, to see how they mathed up against some enemies. 3 wounds is just as easy to kill. Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about killing things, you can't use Tau as an example, dude. Tau are fucking broken. Like, you know, like the comments that I've seen about Tau is like, someone said to me, I think it was on Facebook today, someone was like, I can't get past turn 3 against Tau. They just table me every game now. They're fucking broken. It was like, what am I supposed to say to that? I mean, like, you can't hide from them. And yeah, their plasmas being flat 3 is kind of disgusting as well, to be completely honest. I mean, I don't think it's like, I don't have a problem with them giving flat 3 plasmas. It's just the fact that, like, their flat 3 plasmas on those crisis suits is just crazy, considering each one can take 3 plasmas, right? I was saying to Andrew, they basically, each crisis suit basically has like a better plasma than a Redemptor Dreadnought, and they're about a third of the cost. With the Redemptor Dreadnought going up, they're maybe even less than a third of the cost. And I mean, arguably you take the Redemptor for the plasma, so... Watching a squad of Sangre Guard getting wiped to Tau Overwatch gave me COVID. Yeah, and I mean, that's not even... The Tau can make their Overwatch better as well with, like, I think it's called like early... no, it's not early warning defense system. It's like countermeasure defense system. They can actually make their Overwatch better than what you saw. And yeah, they wiped like... It was pretty much the whole squad of Sangre Guard from Overwatch, yeah. And that unit of Tau would have been cheaper than that unit of Sangre Guard, wouldn't it? I mean, not much cheaper, but cheaper nonetheless. If you want to beat Custodes, you go for Volume of Fire. I mean, yeah, you go for Volume of... You need basically Volume of Fire at minus 2 AP, Miguel. And I don't know if we have that. Was it something complementary? I think it must have been, Kev, because I don't know, like... You're not a dirty meta chaser like Andrew, so I don't know what I would be saying that wasn't complementary to you. Do you have any good tips for playing Sangre Guard? Yeah, I mean, you have to obscure them. You, like, absolutely have to obscure them. They're not that survivable. You kind of need to make sure that the enemy never charges them as well, and that you make the charges. So you need to use your speed to keep them obscured and make sure that you make the charges. If you can't do that because the enemy has a way of, like, countering that, be it with, like, massive amounts of indirect fire or something, or the enemy has a way to make you fight last, like a few armies have the ability to do that, you know, like then you have a big problem, because I generally think Sangre Guard are not a survivable unit, and they're very, very expensive. They're so expensive to include and they're so expensive to lose, you know? 32 points per model for just a 2-wound Marine is like... is so punishing if you lose them. So yeah, you have to play them like so smart. And if the enemy can ever see them, they'll 100% target them and try and take them out, so you gotta deal with that as well. I'm gonna do maths on it, Reziel, and I wanna see what the maths actually says. I know that you're not a big fan of the maths, but I am. I think in when you play enough tournament play, you need, like, maths is actually generally really important. So we'll do some maths on Blade Guard veterans against stuff like I want to do the maths against -1 damage enemies, because that's a big thing. And I probably want to, because yeah, I mean, if you don't have enough 3 damage or more weapons into Death Guard, then you'll probably lose against Death Guard. And I also think Death Guard are one of the armies where, like, if they're running the correct build with the Foul Blight spawn, then like we can't rely on our close combat. Like you just can't, because you don't get any bonus from charging, so you don't get the +1 to wound, you don't get the bonus attacks. So basically, like at that point, yeah, I mean the Foul Blight spawn could totally neuter any unit of ours, not just like Blade Guards or something like that. So I want to do some maths into -1 damage enemies with the Terminators against like Blade Guard veterans, because they're the two survivable units that we have. And then I also want to do, because I've talked about it a lot, right? Like the Terminators with their basically 1-up save being very useful. I want to do some maths on like how much more survivable Terminators with a 1-up save are over Blade Guard with a 2-up save, because I've been seeing it in games that there is a degree of different in survivability there, and when it's so hard to survive in some of these situations, then I think it's going to be important to know that. So I want to do the math, and then I guess after that we can do the math. We can talk about that. I mean, it's not just Death Guard that are -1, right? You come up against like Custodes, they get a lot of -1 damage. Yeah, Eldar are gonna have a ton of -1 damage, aren't they? Wraith, is it Wraith Blades, Kev? Or is it just all the Wraiths are -1 damage now? I think it's all Wraiths are -1 damage. Wraith Blades were good. You know, Wraith Blades are difficult to kill anyway, and I guess Wraith Blades have Yeah, what is the give us the rundown, Kev. What's the profile on Wraith Blades now? Like wounds, toughness, save, and I'm convinced they're -1 damage. Oh shit, I gotta be back in 1 second. For the record, though, Kev, as well, I think that gateway that Eldar have is going to be super broken. I have no idea how we'll deal with that. I mean, if the Eldar player takes that gateway and uses it smartly, like it's a product of codex creep, like. Thing is, if you're going to a tournament though, you can't just say like, oh well, I'm not going to worry about -1 damage enemies, because what's going to happen is the first game of the tournament you're going to run into -1 damage and your list's not going to be able to deal with it. So as much as you maybe want to say -1 damage isn't prevalent as much as it maybe was, you still need to be able to deal with it in a tournament, because you don't want to face it in a tournament and just have no counter against it. Trying to think, like in the tournaments that I play in, both tournaments had multiple Death Guard players, both tournaments had multiple Custodes players, and then one of the tournaments had like White Scars running like Where did the White Scar player was running like a mix, but he had a bunch of dreadnoughts in there to basically, so -1 damage dreadnoughts to deal with, and then there was also a 1000 Sun player who was running a bunch of dreadnoughts. Volkite Contemptors. I guess they're probably a little bit more rare now, but the other lists are valid, right? I find like Telemon dreadnoughts are horrifically difficult to kill now. I mean, they were difficult to kill before, but the fact you can turn off rerolls. Yeah, so Wraiths are weapon skill 3, strength 5, toughness 6. So even Sanguinary Guard axes are only wounding them in 3s. I guess, you know, Blade Guard and Sanguinary Guard swords are wounding them on 4s. They've got 3 wounds. And they're -1 damage. Yeah, so like Blade Guard and Sanguinary Guard are gonna do like no, like yeah, Blade Guard and Sanguinary Guard with swords are gonna do like no damage against Eldar Wraiths. Swords +1 strength, -3 EP. Each attack roll 2 extra dice. Yeah. Orcs are good against Custode Dreads, they annoy the crap out of me. What would you rather fight? 10 Titan-sized... I missed that question. Sorry, what would you rather fight? 10 Titan-sized Gretchen or 50 Gretchen-sized Titans? 10 Titan-sized Gretchen or 50 Gretchen-sized Titans? I have no idea what I'd rather fight. What are the points cost like, Kev? Do they look like... Did Eldar get a points hike? I haven't really looked at the codex. I'm supposed to be looking at it this week with the Grots for the channel podcast, but up till now I haven't really looked at it. Blade Guard veterans are not a front line unit. Well, then apparently I don't know how to run Blade Guard veterans, because for me they're 100% a frontline unit. I don't know how else you would run them. I mean, when I used to run them and had the most success out of them, we just went middle, right? And we tried to use Blade Guard veterans as a survivable unit that can score Oath. I mean, I actually think now, where the meta is, and with how difficult all these other armies are, I actually think that, like, I may start looking more towards Relentless Assault as a because I feel like Relentless Assault is going to be one of our most survivable, or one of our most scoreable secondaries. I really think it's going to be a scoreable it's going to be one of the most scoreable secondaries, and I think we might need to lean into it, because for the next 6 months it's going to be tough. Because there's just so much. Every new codex has so much killing power and sort of. I'm scared. How many points is a Wraithblade now, Kevin? How many points were they before? I knew that the Wraithblade's axes no longer had -1 to hit as well, which is good. I mean, was never really sure why they needed the -1 to hit. In some ways, like, maybe one of the ways they could actually fix Marines is if they took the -1 to hit off the power hammers. Thunder hammers. But I think, I mean, the Gravis fighting style thing that we saw is maybe going to be like... Maybe some armies are going to basically get more attacks because of the fighting styles, and I'm not sure how that helps us with survivability issues, but I mean, I guess it helps our offense a little bit. But yeah, I think I'm going to play Orcs on Monday night. And then I think maybe the week after that we'll get Kev on to play as Eldar. And I've asked Kev to bring the nastiest Eldar list he can bring. Kev normally likes to build fluffy lists, but I did say to him, like, just build the most overpowered / nastiest thing you can build, because that's what I want to fight against, right? There's no, you know, it's fine if you build a fluffy list now and then, but I told Kev that he needs to bring whatever he can bring that's absolute nastiness. And he has ordered that Webway gate, so I guess he can try and be nasty as well with the Webway gate, and just... It sounds like the Webway gate is going to be a way that you can almost just like guarantee some point on the map is just going to be yours for the entire game, and it's like borderline uncontestable, I guess, right? What exactly do you control with a BGV unit? They were 35 axe plus shield, now they're 45. Okay, so they've gone up 10 points, but I think they were toughness 6 before, right? So they've gone up 10 points per model, but they've gone -1 damage, and they've got... They've got bonus attacks if they take swords. Okay. Yeah, the Webway gate basically... Well, it lets you hold anywhere you want to hold it. Wherever you place the gate, you'll be able to hold, right? Because it'll be too risky to... Yeah, I mean, it'll be crazy risky to try and fight around the gate, because you can just bring anything in through the gate and then deep strike. Why are they 3 points cheaper for Vanguard veterans when they can carry a shield compared to the Death Company? I mean, they talked a lot about unifying weapon costs, Jeff, in this edition, and then they really didn't do it. Like you said, the Thunderhammers are 12 points on the Vanguard veterans, they're 15 on the Death Company. On the Death Company intercessors, they're 20. So I guess they've tried to balance the Thunderhammers around the number of attacks the models get. Really, that's the only way. I think that's the only way to look at it. Is it's very strange. Not very many armies get their weapons balanced around the number of attacks the model gets. But I mean, that's what they've done with Thunderhammers, and they made Thunderhammers quite a lot worse, right? Because they took away a point of AP. You don't think that makes them a lot worse, but it actually does. In turn 1 and 2, before we're in the Assault Doctrine, it actually makes Thunderhammers quite a lot worse, you know, just because it's... A lot of things can save okay against -2, and it's not like Thunderhammers shit out loads of attacks. Because the -1 to hit, you actually don't get that many hits. Yeah, I think those Wraithblades are going to be really difficult to deal with. Well, yeah, you need to build the most nastiest... The nastiest list you can come up with, Kev. If it's fluffy and crunchy, that's okay, but it needs to be quite... needs to be really nasty. And we'll give it a whirl. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it, but we'll give it a whirl. Maybe like Monday the 14th or something. I think Monday's the 14th. When do you think Blood Angels receive a new codex? 10th edition. Like, we won't receive. There won't be a new book anytime soon. I mean, there's still about 10 armies that are still waiting on their 9th edition book. So, unfortunately, our 9th edition book came out too early in the edition. I guess it was just average. I guess. I mean, there's a new Space Marine Codex coming out, which might give us some. I mean, I guess we gotta pin a lot of our hopes on this new Space Marine Codex, that it comes out with some good rules and stuff. We could get like I guess we could hold out hope that we would get like a refresh of a model, like a new Dante or they finally give like the Death Company, the Death Company intercessors could get jump packs or something. Like, we could hold out hope for that, but in terms of like holding out hope for a new codex, no, I don't think it's going to happen. There's just with COVID and with the speed that they've been doing the releases and stuff, like it seems very unlikely that they would address us when there's like 10 other factions just even waiting for their first release of their 9th edition book. So I would assume they would all get theirs before they even think about us. And if we're in a tough spot right now, then that's just where we are, a tough spot right now, I guess. I've heard rumors of that new Marine Codex in the next 6 months as well, but I mean, I guess it'll be interesting. Yeah, I have no idea what we could see in a new Marine Codex. Like, Marines have a lot of problems. Like, our armor is in a very strange place in that, like, dreadnoughts are good and everything else feels kind of bad. Yeah, I'm really not sure what I expect to see from this Marine Codex. But yeah, that is Primaris Dante or Primaris Astaroth would be dope. I mean, they'd be welcome. They'd be very welcome in terms of trying to help us get back onto like a level playing field with some of these other new armies released. I mean, if you compare like Trajan Valoris against Dante, like, it's kind of criminal how many buffs and abilities Trajan gets compared to Dante. Like, they're not even on the same page, and Trajan's like, he's cheaper, I think, like 5 points cheaper than Dante, and he's about twice as survivable, and he probably does like twice as much damage, and he can fight twice, and he can interrupt for free, and he has all sorts of nasty shenanigans. Oh, and he gives more command points than Dante. Yes, it's Dante is probably the one guy that needs the refresh more than most. And if he got a refresh, you'd really hope that they do a better job at refreshing his rules than they did when they refreshed Mephiston's rules. Hey, Gummy, good evening, how you doing? What do you mean custodes really struggle though? I mean, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that Valorous shouldn't be a stronger character than Dante, but what I'm saying is, like, if that's the profile that Valorous is on, then Dante needs to be 120 points, right? Like, Valoris's rules are so far ahead of him, and he's actually cheaper. Like, if we could include Valoris as our supreme commander, then I'd probably include him every game. Like, he's amazing. Like, his rules are amazing. Whereas, like, Dante, I don't even think I fielded Dante once in 2021. I probably last fielded him in 2020. Yeah, I probably last fielded him in 2020. And even when I was fielding him, I was unhappy with him because he just died in every single battle. Like, he never survived. The Space Wolves have a draft beer that liquidizes the insides of normal people. Probably. I mean, that's your transhuman physiology at work, right? Kev would know, though. He's huge into Kev plays Eldar, Wolves, and I feel like he's got a third one, but we haven't had his Wolves on the channel yet. Every time we play, it ends up being Eldar, and with the new codex coming out, I guess it's probably going to be Eldar we're going to want to see, because the new codex. At some point, Kev, we'll need to get your Wolves on the channel. Steven ran a really nasty Wolves list with like a bunch of the Dreadnoughts with all the Storm Shields. That's one thing that the Wolves can do really well, is run those Firstborn Dreadnoughts with the Storm Shields. I actually really like that. It's generally kind of terrifying, because the one thing that those Firstborn Dreads kind of miss is the Storm Shields. Sorry, one thing that they kind of miss is an invulnerable save. I'll go first. The Forge World doors. You know what I missed is the Forge World Blood Angels Terminator shoulder pads. They were pretty cool. In fact, some of these Terminators here, I believe, are actually have the Forge World shoulder pads on them. But I wish I'd bought more when I bought these ones. I think the game is suffering a bit right now for the ability, even the weakest thing to wound. The toughness. Lasguns shouldn't be able to wound a tank at all. It used to be like that back in 2nd edition, right? Where like every weapon had like an armor penetration value, and if the armor penetration wasn't good enough, you just literally couldn't do any damage against the enemy. I didn't dislike that. But yeah, no, I think the game is probably suffering from like codex creep. Too much -1 damage or half damage flooding through just about everywhere, and then all the new codexes coming out with just like millions of stratagems and really, I don't know, overtuned, I guess is the way I would say it. Overpowered, overtuned, whatever you want to call it. But all the newer releases in the last 6 months, even to a certain degree, the Orc Codex as well. You know, like, the Orc Codex was so strong that they basically had to release a rule that says you can only have so many aircraft in your list. You know, like that aircraft rule really didn't affect Space Marine aircraft, did they? Because they're a joke. So it's like, they never actually fixed the like the Orc Flyers or the AdMech Flyers being super strong. They just limit the number of them you can take in a list. Whereas like Marines don't really have that. Like, we're just weak in general. I think, like, I think the difference though in the last couple of releases is like, if you go back 6 months, like, we can beat Orcs, we can beat Sisters, we can beat Death Guard. Like, can we beat Custodes? I want to say against a competent Custodes player, I want to say no. Like, I just don't think we can beat them. Can we beat Tau again against like a confident Tau player with the right list? Then I want to say no. I don't think we can beat Tau either. And I guess that's what's happened with the last couple of codexes. They've just been pushed. Like, it was difficult before, but now it's just got to a point where it's like they've just gone one step almost too far with the balance, or the lack of balance. I think it's cool to give every army some really unique mechanics that's linked to the core of the army lore, but they should have done so by the start of the edition. Do you know what? If they had to do that by the start of the edition, I would have guessed it would mean that the whole edition would just be more balanced as well, you know that? If they had to sit down and think of all those core mechanics first before they go ahead and like write a couple of codexes. Sanguinius says the Thunderhawk is as good as it's ever been. I actually would love to see you feel the Thunderhawk and just see it die in turn 1, because it's only got 30 wounds. I bet you if you fielded it against Tau, they would kill it in turn 1. Like, those broadsides would definitely kill it in turn 1, right? Like, what's the AP on the broadsides? -4? So your Thunderhawk's only going to save on 6s. Each one is D3 plus 3. I just beat Tau, it's doable, but you need proper terrain. But I'm building against the local Farsight meta. Thanks, Zach. Yeah, a lot of work still to do on these Terminators, but they're starting to come together, are they? I think it probably depends on like how many crisis suits and stuff they have deking, because the list that I played with, like, what was it, like 13 crisis suits, and I think most of the crisis suits had 4-up in Vuns. So like 13 crisis suits and 6 broadsides. Like, I don't know if that is necessarily beatable for us. But that was Tau Sept, which is slightly different. I don't know, I guess we'll see. If I was in charge of the Tau FAQ, I'd probably be putting their points up like 10-15% probably would sit okay with me. I think they could easily go up 10-15% and still be a good army. And I haven't even come up against Hammerheads or the Long Strike yet. I've just mainly come up against Storm Surges, Crisis Suits, all 4-up with 8 drones per 5. That's probably too many drones per 5. mean, drones are good, but at some point, I think you walk a fine line where like you have too many drones and you should just have some other units they can kill, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Hammerhead is nearly obnoxious as the Storm Surges or the this Crisis Suit spam, Kev. But the list that had 3 Storm Surges in it is just it's kind of cheap for him to do it, or them to do it, and it's like it's so much indirect fire, and when they see you, it's so much fire. I think that, I mean, I beat the list with 3 Storm Surges in it, but like, I really don't think it was, I don't think Andrew played it as well as he could have. Like, I think used right, that list with 3 Storm Surges is really obnoxious. And if he'd actually screened them so I couldn't charge them, then I think I would have lost the game. Andrew's weird like that. Sometimes he'll screen everything really effectively, but then other times he just doesn't bother. Sometimes if he doesn't bother, it's great because it means like I don't look like a chump and just lose the game. But if I was running 3 Storm Surges, I would screen the shit out of them. I had a game last night with Imperial Guard. My TAC commander got killed in one shot by the character Long Strike. 6+ save on the damn railgun, hitting on 3s with reroll 1s, did 14 damage to my tank. Yeah, and I mean, if he's Tau Sep, he can reroll that as well, right? He gets 1 free reroll each time it shoots as well. And also, if he had a marker light up on you, you could hit on 2s, right? Because I think that character Long Strike does seems very good. Even Warhammer World didn't have any Hammerheads today. You were at the 25th celebration, were you, Mike? I was really expecting to see a photo of Tony and Mark appear on the group from the 25th celebration today. I play the Tau. The Storm Surge should be 400 points base. Yeah, I mean, I did feel it was cheap at 330. Good to feel someone that plays it feels it's cheap as well. Yeah. But I mean, like that's a lot. That's a big point difference. Like if it's that strong, you would expect them to kind of like try and like find that in like testing, right? Like it's not like it's like, oh, it's 10 points more expensive. No, it's like 70 points. I thought they should be 450, right? But I don't play Tau, so 400 probably actually sounds pretty reasonable. You know, because when you play it, you're seeing it different as opposed to like when you're playing against it. When you're playing against it, you're just going like, holy crap, how many things does this gun have? This feels overpowered, you know? Oh, there's a photo in the Discord. Okay, I'll check it out. I was going to be very disappointed if there wasn't a photo. So you like mini celebrity now, Tony, going to Warhammer World and getting noticed by people? What are your thoughts on the Gladiator Reaper now it's worth 195 points? So I did a video on the Gladiator Reaper versus the Ball Predator I think I did the video like maybe the week or two before before the chapter approved points costs came out for like 2022, right? And when I did the video, and I mean you can watch the video on the channel, I think it's called like Gladiator Reaper versus Baal Predator. The Reaper kind of performed okay-ish, but that was 20 points more expensive. So with a 20 point drop, I don't think it's bad, I guess would be the one thing to say. I guess the problem is going to be if you run into sort of like an army like Tau or Custodes, which can just shoot it off the table in turn one and you can't get any value out of it. But I mean, if you know that that's what's coming, then I guess you can reserve it or something to try and prevent some sort of to prevent some of that, right? But yeah, I mean, I think you could possibly make the Reaper work. I wouldn't say it's like super strong, but like I guess you know the 20 points drop has made it slightly above average, maybe. It's not totally trash now. Probably like a B, or I wouldn't go as far as to say like it's an A, but I would say it's maybe a B now in terms of like if it was on a tier list. Like it does get a decent number of shots. It does sort of synergize with what Blood Angels need sometimes, which is like clear. So yeah, I think you could maybe make it work. I'm at a GT here in New Zealand in 2 weeks. Well, nice. Good luck. Life RPG. Let us know how you get on. Thanks for hanging out, Reziel. Appreciate it. We're gonna make that video probably this week, and then you can let me know how you feel about your Blade Guard veterans. The only armies that should have more than one super heavy in it at 2,000 points are Knights and Imperial Guard. Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right. Like, it should just. I don't know how they do that, considering how cheap they've made it now. But yeah, I mean, 3 Storm Surges, like a whole super heavy Ox, or I guess it's not even an Ox detachment, is it? It's just like a super heavy detachment. Seems. The fact that they can do that and still have a 1,000 point army on the table is kind of crazy, I think. I don't know. I mean, we'll see a Tau FAQ in the next few months, I would have thought. And based on their tournament results, I feel like something has got to go up in price. Well, that's cool that you guys managed to find Mark and Tony at Warhammer World. I hope you guys all had a good day. Was it worth the day out? Did you feel like it was worth it? So what was the deal? You paid for a time slot or something? Oh yeah, sure. I mean, there's probably other things that we're thinking about that we're missing here, Kev. I mean, you could, but yeah, I mean, I feel like if you want to put 3 Storm Surges in your list, that needs to be like 3/4 of your list. Sure, you can have it as an as a detachment, but yeah, it needs to be a huge amount of your points. Because I mean, it's a lot of wounds to chew through, right? Oh, you cut the Event Inquisitor, did you? Oh, congrats. Crisis suits probably need 5 or 10% added to their points, as they're not crazy, they're just a little undercosted, I think. I could agree with that, Zach. I was thinking that the crisis suits needed to go up slightly. I think the broadsides maybe even need to go up slightly as well. I mean, maybe not, but maybe if the crisis... Yeah, maybe if the crisis goes up, then the broadsides don't need to go up. I think the problem with the crisis is that they're so mobile. And maybe that's what makes them feel super strong, as their guns are really good, but the mobility of them is just insane as well. I actually think broadsides are better than crisis. Okay. I mean, I felt both were pretty hard to... I mean, I only played one game against them and I got crushed, so... It's hard to be super objective when you get crushed. Oh shit, it's past midnight? I did not notice the time. Alright, I gotta wrap this up in the next couple of minutes then. I'll be back tomorrow night though. We got the Army List show going out on a Sunday night as always, about 9:30 UK time. And then I think Monday night we're gonna play Orcs. A week Monday we're gonna get Kev to bring the nastiest Elder list. And if it's not nasty, then you guys all have my permission to flame Kev. I mean, he's been in the stream for the whole night, so he's heard me say a few times his list needs to be really fucking nasty. So Kev's gonna bring this nasty Elder list, and we're gonna hopefully we're not gonna get tabled like we. I don't think did I get tabled against the tower? I think I did actually. Did I? No, I didn't get tabled. I had my one squad of Terminators hanging on to the very end. Well, I think I had Terminators, Servitors, and a whirl. The Whirlwind might have died actually. Maybe it was just the Terminators and the Servitors. So you've been warned, Kev. You need to make the nastiest Elder list you can possibly make. If it's not nasty, my chat will flame you. I built a list with Voidsman arms, plan to use some Cadian shock troops to stand in. I was thinking of using like Tempest Scions as a stand-in for Voidsman arms, but how did you use the Voidsman arms? Because I'm interested, I am kind of interested to use Voidsman arms. They didn't have any whirlwinds. You should check out Element Games if you're in the UK. I mean, they generally have pretty good stock of stuff, Mike, and they're usually pretty quick to deliver. And Element Games are really like they're usually a little bit cheaper than Games Workshop as well. I use them for pretty much all my purchases. I'm cheap, so I like to get a bargain. So I usually check out Element Games. I'd recommend them if you've never tried them before. They also give you like loyalty points every time you spend, so you can basically build up points over time and then use them to get like money off future products and or like free delivery and stuff. Alright, I am gonna call it a night, though, guys. As I said, I'll be back tomorrow night, 9:30 UK time. We'll have 3 army lists to look over, and then Monday night we'll be back for a game against Orcs. And it's going to be Brett's tournament list. I think Brett had 2 wins, 1 loss today at the tournament that he's away at this weekend. So there'll be a solid Orc list. No Land Raider IBBs. I was thinking of getting a Land Raider Proteus this year, just to put like some jump. Well, I mean, you could even put these Terminators into Land Raider Proteus, right? But yeah, thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you get some hobby done. I'm on this never-ending, the never-ending mission of getting this one squad of Terminators painted up. And if you haven't joined our Discord, then you should definitely do that. There's a link in the video description, and all my videos should have a link to the Discord. If there's ever a problem, let me know. I will. You can post whatever you like, I think. Like photo-wise and stuff, like, I don't think it's a problem. If it is a problem, now that Tony and Mark have met you in real life and that they're the Discord mods, they're not going to ban you, they're just going to slap you on the wrist and say, how dare you. But no, I think you'd be fine to post that. I am interested to hear how people are running Voidsman at Arms, though. So, Chris, you're going to have to let me know about that one. But yeah, have a good night, folks. I'll catch you tomorrow. By the blood are we made strong. Peace.